Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Maribor, welcome to Slovenia, welcome to Podim. So it's great to see you at such an early hour. Hopefully also the poker winner is with us today. And I'll be short and sweet. So when we start Podim, this was like a small regional conference, a small event. And now, kind of 25 years later, we transformed it to the strategic platform that connects founders, investors, and ecosystem builders across South, Central, and Eastern Europe. And what I mean by that, if you look at the map, this is the map of the majority of the founders, founder application coming from. So 25 countries, but majority of them are from this region. So we are building like a strong footprint in the region and connect those founders with more than 60 investors. So hardly any important investor is missing on that picture, but the one who is missing will be on it on the next year. That is a promise. Okay. When we say a platform, we mean that we integrate and partner with every basically partner across the different layers of the ecosystem. So we got ecosystem builders, we got corporates, we got VC funds, we got media, right? So the platform and the ecosystem enables that the founders that are in the center of the Podim conference get the most benefit, and that the event as such is growing and is starting to be even more impactful. One of the biggest upgrades this year are the media partnerships. Startups not only need funding, but also visibility. That's why we partner up with established media outlets across Europe as the Recursive, Netocracia, Pet Founders, and Startups Magazine. Also, others media are joining. And the point of those partnerships is that we get your message through. We get your beautiful ideas, disrupting ideas, and how you will change the world. We communicate it to the world. Also, you probably notice that we have a full 2-day podcast studio downstairs. So there are still some slots available, and that podcast studio is there to tell your story, to hear your story, and to tell it to the world. And last but not least, so the strategic partnerships that we are building are the way for the next level of Podim conference. So the partnership with the Future 500 Initiative, ScaleX, and Bits and Pretzels are connecting the regions and building even more impactful ecosystem and the platform here in Maribor, Podim, and scaling through the Europe. So thank you very much. Thank you all of the partners that are supporting us and are enabling us for this event to happen. Yeah, now it's up to us to make this happen and make most out of those 2.5 days. We'll deliver and promise our promise and value. So looking forward to meet you all and enjoy this year's Podim.
Thank you very much for that. And now I would like to invite none other than the mayor of the city of Maribor, Mr. Alexander Sasha Arsenovic. Welcome on stage, Mayor. Hi there, good to have you. And I've just noticed one thing. Let's pretend that didn't happen. We need a microphone. There you go.
Thank you for it.
I was told whatever happened, make sure the people don't run off with the microphone. So that started quite well, didn't it? Good, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. Mayor, I think it's my 12th or maybe 14th time at Podim, and there has been a lot of change to the city of Maribor. What's the proudest moment for you? What makes you the proudest?
So hello everybody, welcome to Maribor, Steierska region, Pohorje region. I hope you will feel very comfortable here in the city. So of course I'm proud on my team. I call it family of Maribor. It's not only municipality, it's also a public holding and all other public companies. And I feel much more comfortable here than 2019 when I started with this let's say, crazy job. I'm not a politician. I'm from business side, more or less. And our goal was to increase the number of inhabitants in the city and to increase added value of the city and everything what comes with it. And we said, idea is still an idea until someone realize it. And the other thing was hope is not a strategy. And when we mixed all these things, now I'm really happy that with this amazing team, we doubled the budget of the city. Our investments are in last 5 years were 350 millions, which is 5 times more than in period before my team. And we got also about 100 millions back from EU funds or from the state for our projects. And there are really many, many big projects. And if I go to these things, we are part of Olympic family since 2023. We organized the biggest multi-sport event in Slovenia ever. Now we are building the biggest cultural center in Slovenia ever. We invest a lot of mobility in health, and yeah, I think we are on a good way. And now, next questions. I don't want to be too long, and yeah.
Thank you for the courtesy of that, for not being too long because the time is ticking. Now, you mentioned the heavy investing, and one of the things you've done is you've bought a Euro HPC computer. And there will be a second one added as well to the supercomputers. What does it mean for the city of Maribor and also the tech ecosystem?
There is not only a computer. Now we are more ready to welcome people here, to settle down here. So, as you heard, we invest 500 millions. And the next big investment, it's also around 500 millions from a company Novartis, very close to us, to Lendava. And there are another 500 millions from university side. So all these things together, this gives us really big opportunity now that we will increase inhabitants even more than from 110,000 to 115, where we are today. So people would like to come here, to live here, to work here. And I believe that we will take this opportunity. And so that's why you are here, and I hope you will settle down your company here in the city.
And maybe just to follow up on that question, if someone does want to settle down their company, how do they do that? Where, how, when, with whom do they talk?
I think it's easy. I hope the taxes will be also a little bit better now. But why should you come here? Of course, we have a very good strategic geolocation, and one thing which counts the most, if we looking from our first day from the birth and then to the end, in between we call it life. And I think that Maribor and the whole region has exceptional quality of life. So this is the mainly reason, and all other things are of course in your minds and heads and in your teams and your creativity. So just come here and enjoy the city and the region, and I think everything will be good with your investments and with your companies.
Thank you so much. You heard the man, the mayor of the city of Maribor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome again.
Thank you very much. And up next to greet you of Boskwa Invest and Future 500 Croatia, Mr. Stepan Oreskovic. Stepan, where are you? There you are.
Hi.
Hello. I'm running out of hands. Good morning. But I do like handheld microphones. They just sound better, so I'll take that. Now, maybe as a first question, so we've seen that Europe clearly has a lot of talent. I mean, look at them. And also the ability to create strong startups. So why do you think and believe the continent still struggles to produce global scale-ups? What's the big thing?
It's a very simple question, except that no one knows the answer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you?
But yeah, it's a $1 trillion answer, so I'm keeping this in my pocket as a secret.
So and there's $1 trillion. Okay, great.
Yeah. It's probably one of the biggest challenges any economy can face, because if you look into the history of capitalism, it's clear connection between how the economy can generate big companies, leaders in any sense, and how the economy can grow together with these big companies. I mean, basic instinct of anyone who has a civic instinct is we don't like big companies. But on the other side, there is no possibility that there is a growth without capacity of creating big global leaders.
And so what are you doing in Slovenia to identify these top 100 global companies? Because that's the art, isn't it?
No, we are not doing this only in Slovenia. Slovenia will be the first place where we will demonstrate the model, and I think we will announce 100 companies with the highest potential for growth on 31st of August at the Bled Strategic Forum. When I say we, it's a group of institutions and international think tanks. It's Atlantic Council, which is the key partner. It's a Bled Strategic, it's a Bled School for Management, IDC Bled, which is probably the most important here. And you see here, it's a really ambitious project, but it's something that should and have to be done.
And I mean, you have done it already, right? And I mean, with your own journey with Bosqua Invest, you showed that building a large international company from this region is possible. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about that story. How did you scale to 23 countries and created a market value of 11x?
So what is good is whatever you say about Boscar does not work anymore.
Oh, good.
It's not 23, but 27 countries now, and the growth is speeding up. So it's a kind of, I think, good feeling, unless it's not anymore. You never know. But what is, my position is this story. I wanted to share everything I learned with our group. The pronunciation is Boscar.
Bosca, okay,
Yeah.
I learned something.
And it's association to Boškarin. Boškarin is extremely big ox from Istria, which is huge. It has almost 1,500 kilos. It's much bigger than the guy on the Wall Street that looks like a bit nervous. So what we are trying to do here is to share what we learned personally. There are too many people walking around the world and preaching and teaching without really doing anything what they try to teach to the other people. My principle is something I like to connect with Nassim Taleb, his fantastic book, Skin in the Game. So if you don't have the skin in the game and you haven't done something personally, then you can learn, upgrade, and so on. Don't preach too much. So what we are trying to do with Future 500 is more or less everything what we did with the Boscar group. What we did with the Boscar, and is starting in 2019 with initial public offering. From 2019 to today, we had 11.8 market cap growth. I was looking now before coming to stage. It's much faster growth than most of the biggest 7 US companies.
That's impressive.
It's 11.8, and you can look what was the market cap growth of Microsoft, Amazon, everyone except NVIDIA is actually below.
That's mighty impressive. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot to learn from you, and you can in the next 2 days. The pleasure was all ours. Thank you very much. I'll grab that microphone. Can I have that microphone? And right that way. Thank you. Good. There's a lot to say. Now I'd like to invite from the Unido Innovation Lab, Adnan Seric. Welcome on stage, Adnan. Here's your microphone. Good morning to you. How's life?
Life is good,
Tell us
especially when I get to travel to the region where I'm originally from, definitely.
Oh, that's pretty good. Now tell us, because you do know a bit about it, the Western Balkans region has a strong innovation talent, yet very little of it scales. What is actually blocking growth, and what are some of the key challenges you've identified?
Yes, thank you for that. Well, good morning, everyone. And maybe before I go into answering that question, a very quick intro to United Nations Industrial Development Organization, because I'm pretty much sure many of you here in the audience have not come across the organization yet. We are a technical agency that works with governments predominantly, but also private sector around the world. We have 173 member states. We are active on the ground in 120 countries, and we provide technical assistance both in terms of policy and implementation to governments and private sector to upgrade their operations and foster inclusive and sustainable industrial development. So that just as a stage setting why we are here. And in particular now, back to your question, in terms of the Western Balkans potential and the talent, I think talent is everywhere. Bottom line, it's here in the Western Balkans, it's in Eastern Africa, Central Asia, Central America, but talent alone doesn't scale. And what we see in our work is that what's often missing is that connective tissue, if you like, that takes good ideas and converts them into adopted solutions. And this is why many incubators, accelerators exist in order to change that. We are playing in the same space, but we make use of our global platform mandate and the platforms that we create to bring together both public and private sector actors to work together. Now, some of the challenges, obviously, but also opportunities that we see in the Western Balkans region in particular is that there is indeed extremely high level of talent and potential. But what that talent oftentimes misses, especially when we speak about innovative startups from the region, is that first big client, big customer that opens the door, or a mechanism that allows them to tap into resources that they need. So the scaling gap in itself, in fact, is rather a demand gap that we observe here. And the big challenge or big question, in fact, to be solved is how do we address that?
And I mean, time is flying, but please do tell us a bit about Scale X.
Yes. Well, Scale X is, broadly speaking, an innovative open innovation platform that we have launched at the end of last year with a global ambition starting here, also largely thanks to the government of Slovenia that has stepped forward and offered to support the rollout of the program on a pilot basis here in the Western Balkans, connecting innovation ecosystems from across 5 countries to start with. And the program itself focuses on the demand side as opposed on the supply side, right? So a lot of incubators, accelerators that are out there are predominantly pushing innovation into the market and trying to see what actually sticks. We are taking a much more difficult approach here, which is focusing on the demand side. So working with large clients or customers, both from the private sector, but also public sector, so for instance, cities, in scouting solutions to some of the grand challenges that are jointly identifying with us, be it in the climate space, in the energy space, food tech space, etc. And then offering a structured program that effectively de-risks the decision for both suppliers and those demanding solutions to deploy them on the ground, test, and ultimately scale what works.
And maybe his last question, because the time is up already. What's happening in the next 12 months to turn all of this into incredible deal flow?
Indeed. So what we're going to be focusing in the next 12 months is developing the first innovation scaling corridor here in the Western Balkans. So this is effectively connecting cities and regions from across these 5 initial countries with each other, but also with European innovation ecosystems. And so a set of activities which we aim to deploy that strengthen both the demand side, so demand for innovative solutions across those corridors, but also brings together public and private funders to then support what actually works on the ground, or what we are demonstrating that it works on the ground.
Understood. Thank you very much for
Excellent.
coming along.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
so
much,
much.
Adnan. Right that way and take the microphone with you, please. That way. Take it. Thank you. I've just changed the plan because I am running out of hands, so might as well just change it over then in the most efficient way. Good. Now I'd like you to meet the Chief Business Development Officer of The Recursive. Here's Christiana Kuneva. Welcome on stage, Christiana.
Thank you.
Hello there. I'll also give you a handshake. You know, I do like doing that. Hello there, Christiana. Now, The Recursive has joined as a main media partner of the event. And what are your first impressions? Just tell us a bit.
Actually, I must say that this is one of the best conferences that I've been to, and I've been to many, and I'm not saying this as a cliche. I really believe so. The organization is brilliant. The keynote speakers that you brought are excellent. So I'm really hoping to see what the next 2 days will deliver.
Marvelous. And I know that you will deliver a couple slides now, right?
Yes.
That was cheesy, but there she is. Take it away.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Podim. Let's make it count for another year in a row. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer of The Recursive, and this is one of the leading tech media for innovation in Central and Eastern Europe. But let me start with a quick story first. So a few years ago, I went to New York City and I attended a pitching competition. And there was this one founder I clearly remember who was wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt and shorts, and he got on stage and he pitched his idea so boldly, like there was nothing else better in the whole world than his solution. Very ambitious, but quite unrealistic idea. And then when he got off the stage, I waited to hear the investor's reaction. And do you know what their reaction was? It was not laughter. It was not skepticism. It was a simple question. Why not? And trust me, this question changed everything. I felt this the very second. And then after I came back to see, the contrast was obvious, because back there in that room, failure was not a verdict. It was treated as a step forward. Investors did not ask what the founder's idea, if the founder's idea would work, they asked how big it could become. And when I came back to CE, we always hear this question, can the CE become the next Silicon Valley? And maybe it can, maybe it's true, because here, talent, vision, execution, they're not missing for sure. But capital, unfortunately, is still not abundant. Failure is not always encouraged. And unfortunately, scaling is not always assumed, but it's earned. So I keep this question in my head: what if constraints are actually one of the strongest drivers of innovation? And we see that today, because CE has moved past his stage of emergence into acceleration now. And data shows that clearly, because now we see that our ecosystem is valued at 274 billion in enterprise value. It's grown 15.5 in the last 10 years alone, more than twice the European average. We have more than 3,800 VC-backed startups, more than 250 scale-ups, and 69 unicorns and billion-dollar companies. Eastern Europe is still receiving a bit over 5% of the overall funding, though. There are a lot of setbacks, a lot of talent that is still leaking the CE, unfortunately, relocating outside to pursue capital, to pursue networks. And even though the deal volume and transactions has slowed down, we slowly see that VC is slowly returning to CE, but more concentrated in fewer but larger late-stage rounds. So on the question, and I ask this sincerely, can the CE continue to outperform the capital constraints and build scalable companies? Well, maybe. Why not? Because the flywheel, as Dilrun described it, is still in motion, and we see that everywhere around us. So on the question, can CE become the next Silicon Valley? Maybe we should ask, why not? And we should treat failure not as a step back, but a step forward. And we should treat scaling as the norm, not the exception. Thank you.
Thank you. I like turning it around saying, well, why not? Exactly, well, why not? No pressure then on you. Good. And now the next speaker is going to be of Silicon Gardens Fund. Here is the partner, Vuk Lau. Welcome on stage, Vuk. Stage is yours. Hello. And you've also bought us a presentation. Just one last question. I mean, there was like this little poker tournament mentioned last night.
Who was at the poker tournament
Raise your
last
hand.
night?
Who lost money?
Oh, not bad, not bad.
They all won. That's good. And based on that, is the CE tech ecosystem playing with a winning hand, or is it rather bluffing?
We'll hear it now.
We'll hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll be short, but not so sweet as all of my colleagues. So Christiana said that CE region is accelerating, and the numbers don't lie. But what happens when we start looking is kind of like our part of the story. So ADRE report is something we started 5 years ago as we wanted to showcase that we are not the dead end of the European startup ecosystem, and that we could definitely punch above our weight. So what happened last year? We recorded more than 330 investments and 360 million of money invested in startups. But that's just one part of the story. So if we start peeling the onion, and if we remove two outliers, two companies that were part of ADRE report solely because they had founders coming from the region, we actually lose one third of the money. And one company is being built solely in the US at that point, and the other company was built in EU, in Germany and Netherlands. So basically 207 million is the money that came to the region. But if we peel another layer and we remove more than 200 grants that we kind of like also counted as part of the investments, but to be realistic, like those are not venture investments. It's either kind of like sandboxes or in some cases just survival mechanism. And then we get completely different story. And out of 100 pre-seed rounds, venture pre-seed rounds, I think we got only like 12 Series A and actually 6 Series A rounds and 1 Series B. Only 1 Series B round in the region with more than 20 million people and like now more than 10 years of building the ecosystem. And then, like, if that's not communicating a really hard glass ceiling, I don't know what's not. So the question is like, why is that happening? And one of the things is like, we had excuses before. Like 5 years ago, the region was underfunded. We had only like a handful of funds investing. We didn't have a talent. Even now, like maybe we don't have it, but also like we didn't have strong networks in all the world major hubs. But now the story is completely different. We have more than 20 VC funds that have a strict mandate to invest just in this region. We have way more talent than before. Like a lot of companies are building here. We have spillover. But even if we don't have enough talent here, like what's stopping you to actually hire globally? And now, like after all the work that everyone in the ecosystem done, like we had really strong networks in London, in Bay Area, in New York, in Berlin. So again, no excuses. And what's kind of like the message that I want to leave you with? And it's definitely not pessimism. If we wouldn't deeply believe in this region, we wouldn't be investing here, and like we indeed do. But pure belief without just looking at the data, it's kind of like not a conviction, it's bias. So what's the message? We already have extremely successful stories, so it can be done. Just last year, we had Splix from Croatia going from pre-seed round to exit in under 3 years. We had a company that was predominantly built in Slovenia going from a white paper to 1.25 billion exit in less than 5 years. We have Daytona that's in under 2 years became a global phenomenon. So, and not just that, just like 50 meters to the left, you have a builder stage where we brought 20 regional founders who actually just did that. So the message is it's possible. Definitely, but you need to stop giving yourself excuses. You need to shoot for the stars. And yeah, most of you have a fair chance to, in a couple of years, to be on this list. So having said that, I wish you amazing Podim. I wish you a lot of networking. And thanks again for being here. Bye-bye.
And thank you very much. Now, the last man I'm going to ask on stage, usually when we meet, we wear lederhosen. It's a true story. I've never met him without lederhosen, like both of us actually wear them. And because of him, I got my first lederhosen, so I'm forever in his depth. I like that a lot. He's the co-founder and managing director of a conference called Bits and Brezels in Germany. Here's Bernd Storm van Gravesande. Welcome on stage, Bernd.
Thanks for having me. It's a great atmosphere here. Fantastic.
Well, thank you for being here, and I've never seen you with normal pants. I'm
Sorry.
normal, you know what I mean. Like.
Max, stand up, please. He's my colleague.
Max?
Lederhosen.
Max, have you got lederhosen? They're astonishingly comfortable. Do you know? But at the first time I wore them, I didn't work out that the front part isn't actually pockets. So I thought they were pockets, and people told me it was looking like I was touching myself. So that's one of the things.
Stop it.
Yeah, thanks to you, I learned that. So tell us a bit about Bits and Brezels. It started off as a founder's breakfast, and it kind of escalated.
It really escalated. So we started with 40 people in Hofbräuhaus because we just wanted to have a tiny, cozy breakfast with founders. We were founders ourselves. And we'll say, okay, let's bring them together at least once a year. And really in the beginning, we realized that's not just an event, it's the beginning of something special because there was so much energy in the room that people wanted to be part of this new platform, and they bought our tickets. They were very cheap, 10 euros back then, like hell, and we had to change the location every 2 months until we reached the biggest hall in Munich, the Congress Center. Now we are 7,500 people from 60, 70, sometimes 80 countries all over the world to mingle, to network, to learn from each other during, of course, Oktoberfest. Yeah.
And just mention one or two of the guests you've had over the time.
Yeah, Daniel Cronin. Yeah. Daniel, Barack Obama, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Of course, you need these names to attract visibility. You need this name to inspire in the room. But the real value of Bits and Pretzels is the networking. So we push everything, every effort we do. We really try to connecting the dots, connecting the right people to each other with the app, but also with 60 or 70 matchmakers who do nothing, just try to find you the right person to talk to you next. Yeah.
So community is the real key, is it?
Community is the real key. You know, the content, even Daniel or Barack, you can download on YouTube. It's a commodity, yeah. But the real value is you can't download the belonging to a community, to an ecosystem. You really, that's why we try to enable this, to try build a platform of trust where everybody really opens up and connects with the others to help and share their insights.
And now talking about connecting, Podim and Bits and Brezels are partners now. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, it took us a long time, but now we are connecting the dots. So you see, we are true Europeans, and we believe that only a unified Europe is a strong Europe to compete in this harsh political environment. And therefore, I had so many great conversations already yesterday, not only ambitious founders, but also friendly founders. And you know, Munich and Bavaria it's a powerhouse in Europe, so with many large corporates and a lot of money. And so let's bring together this, for me, some of the most ambitious founders in Europe can be found in Slovenia, in Maribor, and bring it together with the money and the corporate potential customers in Germany and Bavaria. And it's a match, I would say.
In that sense, you know what you need to do. Thank you very much, Bernd.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you here. Thank you.